Hey guys, I'm back. I can speak. Great to be with you today. I also have a little extra Christmas decor back there. I've got my little, it's actually like kind of a geometric metal tree that's got gold glitter all over it, and I got my glitter reindeer back there as well. And I've been trying to think a little bit more about drugstore holiday sets lately, or just drugstore kind of giftable items, because a couple of things were actually recommended to me. I don't know how many filters deep I was on the Walmart ordering app, but I ended up getting to a place where they were like suggesting beauty related gift ideas. One of them was like a little elf travel brush kit. I think that's available all the time. And then a certain palette from Hard Candy where I was like, oh, that might be right up my alley. I've got some BH Cosmetics in this one as well, so I just thought it would be fun to put together a full look that incorporated all of those. And obviously for my base products, I'm just gonna use some different things because I don't have a whole kit of holiday base products. First sip of coffee in the morning, can't beat it. I'm going to use my Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. I wear this in cashmere. This is an amazing foundation. I've loved it so much. Really gotten into it over the past year again. Got about a pump and a half here on my hand. And I'll just dab this around and blend it in with my beauty blender. Actually, I wet a Real Techniques sponge today, just for variety's sake. Stuff is so pretty on the skin. Looks so natural, but yet, you know, you do get coverage. You get a little bit of a, just like skin-like, hydrated looking glow. Okay, so there we are. You can see just the natural skin-like finish. I feel like when I look at my skin when I've got this foundation on, I think of how my skin actually looks when it's perfectly clean after being washed, and you just kind of look up close at it and you can see how the finish of your skin actually picks up just a bit of a glow because it's not totally dry and matte, you know? So it's just really natural. I love that foundation. You can find it at Dollar General. Okay, next I want to use some of my Bear With Me concealer serum. I used this in the last video where it was kind of like music and a few little voiceovers. I wear this in the shade Light, and I feel like I've been kind of over applying this stuff. I think I'm kind of swayed by the thought of concealer serum, and I'm for some reason thinking, oh, I can really go big with this, but you don't need to, and that's usually not my tendency anyway. I don't know what my problem is. So I've got just a little pump of this today. And the reason why I thought it was looking like too much was just like after getting it all blended out, seeing my skin on camera, I just thought, ooh, that's got a heaviness to it that I don't typically see after my concealer steps. So while it looks like I've got a lot of dots all over, they're pretty like light. There's not much product there. I think I will just use this sponge and see what we get out of it, because I feel like this concealer has really some surprising coverage. It's nice and brightening, and it really like maintains kind of that glowiness on the skin, which I usually go and I flatten that back out with some powder. I just really need to be able to count on the staying power, my friends. And also, if you left it this glowy right up to your lower lash line, and then you put any kind of mascara on top of that, and you never set it at all, like, think of all the transfer issues you would have from that level of moisture. So you might say, well, what's the point in using anything, you know, that looks glowy on your under eye if you're just going to cancel it out again? Well, there is some nice hydration, I think, in this product, and you're going to take advantage of that no matter what. And your skin will be able to handle having a little bit of powder on it. You know, it kind of levels out. And I just had to blow my nose. So guess what? Teensy bit more. Colds really work against you in the makeup department, don't they? So there we are with our really, really natural looking base. So where does this concealer really stack up in terms of the coverage I see from other things? I want you to note that I do have still a little bit of darkness showing through with this one. So it's not my fullest coverage concealer. If I had this to choose from, like this and e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, both as options, I would go with the Hydrating Camo Concealer because I just feel like it covers better. I know a lot of people like this. I know TikTok, like, wow, this is amazing. And it's good, and it may be great for a lot of people, and I'll probably keep using it too. If I paired it with a little corrector, it'd probably be perfect. Then I'm gonna reach for my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. Such a great drugstore buy, this stuff. I feel like you get a ton of product. It works amazingly well. I can use it kind of interchangeably with Maybelline Fit Me. Believe Beauty also, the brand that made the foundation, they make a great loose powder. So I am not hurting for loose powders at all. And as you can see, I'm taking this over the T-zone as well because I've got a full day. You know, I'm dealing with kids all day long and I don't spend a lot of time like looking to touch up or planning to touch up. I really like to have a look that lasts me all day. So that's why you often see me setting with some powder, because even though my skin type isn't amazingly oily, and especially this time of year it's probably getting a bit more dry, with the products I'm putting on top I need to create that sense of balance on the skin, you know, setting the places that I know can create problems for me later. Now that we've got the base done, we're ready to move on to some of these palettes and sets. So I have a couple here from BH Cosmetics. They have this whole Mrs. Claus collection, or I'm sorry, it's Miss Claus. Santa's daughter is here to slay, they say. So I have the contour palette, which is called Tinsel Twerking. Can you tell this is geared toward a certain audience? And then the Bad and Bougie blush palette. I also have the eyeshadow palette. Immediately, it's my instinct to compare the eyeshadow palette, the Lit List. This is not what I'm going to be using in this video, but it's my instinct to compare this to the Naughty palette. And as I do that, I feel like there are a lot more like pure colors in this one, like real true greens and reds and pure blues, very pure colors. And then, of course, a lot of shimmer and metallic too. A variety of finishes, matte, shimmer, sparkle, and I do get a really fun, festive feel out of this, and the quality of the shadows is really nice and pigmented, like BH Cosmetics is definitely getting a reputation for being. But there was something about the Naughty palette that just was a little bit more like, some of the shades were more off the beaten path and just a little different, a little bit murkier. Maybe instead of getting a pure red, you were getting a berry, or, you know, along with the red, a berry. You were getting other really pretty, kind of deeper, richer colors that would definitely make me think year-round use, and this one seems a little more like holiday season specific to me. So while I do love the BH Cosmetics quality, that palette is not tops on my list personally, but some people may love it. If you see the color scheme and you're like, oh, I love those colors, I think that's the palette for me, just judging by the color scheme, I can tell you that the quality is good, but it's just not my favorite colors. But this is what we're going to use today for the contours. So you have 3 matte contours and 3 shimmery highlights. I kind of think it would have been cool if one of these shades could have been swapped out for just a translucent powder, you know? But anyways, I'm going to go to the Spiked Cocoa shade, this middle one, with my BK Beauty 107 brush. And I do like this palette. I think it's very good. I like how pigmented these powders are, but like I said, do we need... Oh, I almost forgot. We're gonna bust into this travel brush set from e.l.f. Sorry about that. I'm not used to reaching for different brushes, you can tell. So I'm a huge fan of e.l.f. brushes, so I thought, why not try one of these mini sets and see how good it is. There's this one here called the Angled Blush Brush. It's really cute. And I think I'm going to try to use this with some of the contour shades. So sorry about that. But like I was saying, I feel like this palette could have extended itself a little bit further if maybe we lost one of these shimmers up here perhaps, and just put in, you know, a matte setting powder type shade, because then you've taken care of a lot of face steps in one. But that's always my vibe, you know. I'm thinking, how much can we fit in one? How multitasking can one palette be? As you can see, this little brush is really targeting the product a lot, but it's kind of nice. It's really pretty full and dense feeling for as small as it feels in the hand, you know. The brush head is actually ample size. Feels just like the size of a blush brush head. So continuing to put that product around, I'm still just working with the middle shade. Now I think I'll go to a little bit of the deepest one, and let's get a little bit of that up in here. I really hadn't used a lot of BH Cosmetics face stuff. You know, I'm pretty familiar with the quality of their eyeshadows, but now I can see that their powder formula really extends to the face products. It's pigmented, it blends easily. Again, with that darkest shade, let's step up the contour a little bit. So this palette, while it has an incredibly, you know, Christmas themed idea here, I do think what's inside could work for you at any time, for sure. And then with our shimmer shades here, I might take some of the deepest shimmer and just let a little bit of that come up like higher, more like bronzer, you know, a little glow. We'll come back to this for the highlight, but now we're going to move to the blush palette. And this is my favorite. I love this blush palette. What we have here is like a matte rosy reddish blush. We've got a small amount of shimmer in these two, and then this is your glowiest blush right here, the peachy one. But I love how they're all really different from one another. I'm going to use the Unwrap Me color first, this light pink. Really pigmented and nice. I can't believe I haven't really tried any of the other BH Cosmetics blush palettes because they have been doing some cute looking ones for a while now. But how pretty and fresh is this shade? And I just feel like I can get away with each and every one of these colors. I've worn them all. I like them all. Let's do a splash of Santa Baby. Just a little bit of this one. Extra rosiness, extra like I'm just in from the cold, you know. Can you rock a red blush? Absolutely you can. Cheeks. Love it. There's a brush in my little travel kit here that says highlighting brush. I think this also would have been perfect for under eye setting powder, so I should have pulled it out then, but as you can see, the size would really lend itself to that. I'm going back to my contour palette, and I'm going to use this lightest shade called Champagne right up here. And I'm just going to apply some of that to the cheeks. It's so pretty. That really pops. We're glowing, guys. I'm going to put a little bit of this on the Cupid's bow as well. So really, really like that. This shade shows up on me nicely as a highlight too. Didn't really talk about it, but the one called 24 Karat, it's very glowy also. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't realize this, but they gave us the Flawless Concealer brush in here. So I could have used that for my concealer step, and that's definitely a brush like the e.l.f. sells on its own, but they've mini sized it, and that's really cool. I just looked at that and I assumed that they put in a crease brush, but it's definitely big and would be a perfect little concealer brush. I wish I would have used that with my concealer serum, but it's a really nice little size. And then the other one in the brush set is the Eyeshadow C Brush. That's also one that they sell on its own. It's a little chunky, like kind of flat, but kind of could wedge into the crease type of brush. But I enjoy both of these palettes from BH Cosmetics, especially this one, the blush palette. Okay, I'm going to use my Revlon Color Stay Brow Creator in the dark brown shade, and just going to use this to quickly fill in my brows. Speaking of e.l.f., I did notice on their website they have like some bundles of the bite-sized stuff there. I already have pretty much all the bite-sized products they sell. I didn't really need it, but that could be a good value to look into on their website. Like you can get a face duo, an eye palette, a brow palette, and whatever. Nice quick fill in there, and then I have the spoolie, and I also have that little powder dabber with this product that's within the stick here if I wanted to use that too. So I don't know what got into me last night, you guys, but I decided to flat out just organize my pantry. Well, I know what got into me. When I was doing my Aldi order this past weekend, I realized they had a bunch of like pantry or like fridge storage bin kind of little organizers you can slide in your cabinets and keep things nice, and I ordered quite a few of those actually. I got a couple that would work for my fridge, and I thought it could organize sort of the kid related snacks like little fruit cups, cheese sticks, yogurts, tuna packets, like things of that nature. No, my kids aren't really clamoring for tuna packets, that's me. By the way, get the ranch tuna. It's the best. It makes the quickest tuna salad. Anyway, I got a couple that I put in the fridge, and then we don't have like a big walk-in pantry. I wish we did, but we have a big, like two big tall cabinets. They're real deep, and that's part of the problem. Like I wish they were widened out and less deep because so much stuff kind of gets lost back in there. But now I've got like 4 or 5 of these different little bins where I was able to get everything organized nicely, and I feel so good about it. But I was doing that at like between 9 and 10 o'clock last night. Bub was down in his wood shop working on some things. I'm like, I'm not just gonna sit here. I feel like actually doing something. So maybe I really am getting over this cold. Milani eyeshadow primer. But I mean, the high you come away with after you do a good organizational project, it's like you just want to stand there and look at what you've done. You don't want to immediately leave the room. You just want to like, hey, let's live life with the cabinets open now because I just want to look at what I've done here. But yeah, not having some big walk-in pantry does, I guess, force me to be a little more organized and clear out clutter more frequently and, you know, let go of the forgotten ramen from 2017. Anyways, got my eyes all primed. So this was like, I didn't seek this out. This product found me on Walmart's website. This Look Pro eyeshadow palette in the Blushful Nudes. I don't think I've ever laid eyes on this in the store, but they had it in the store because this came with a delivery order. Sorry, my eyes are like watering. I'm definitely gonna sneeze soon. I'm definitely gonna have to redo my nose makeup. But as I look at this, I am so thinking of the Huda New Nude palette, you know, the rosy one that has some of those glittery textures and, you know, the speckled shades. It's just giving me all that vibe. And I played with this a little bit yesterday, but it was like after my makeup was already done. So this will be my first fresh, hello, focus. This will be my first fresh look just using this. So I'm gonna go over to this shade here, this huge, you know, base color that they gave us. It's kind of a dusty lilac. And the feeling I was getting from some of these shades yesterday was like, yeah, some of these mattes can be, they're buildable. The pigmentation doesn't knock your socks off right at the onset, but I can build to a place where I'm satisfied. So hopefully that holds true for whatever I want to use from this palette today. No fallout, like I'm kind of actually giving a little scrub to that shade because I'm like, I want a little more color. But it is just a nice soft, kind of set things up, dusty lilac crease color. All right, then I'm gonna go a little darker. I'm gonna go to this shade right here. Very like dirty plum kind of thing. Layer a little bit of that in. Okay, so far it's seeming like a pretty approachable palette. By approachable, I mean like anybody of any ability level could like dive into it and not have to feel like, oh, I've got to be super careful. Okay, no complaints really so far. I've got a little creamy shade, a little matte cream up here. Actually kind of peachy. That will go on the border / highlight. I may have put on a little too much highlight on my cheeks. Today's one of those days where I can tell like, for the camera, I put on enough so you'd see, and now I'll go looking at my rearview mirror on the way to pre-K drop-off, and I'm gonna be like, dang, girl, you went hard on that highlight today. And then I'll remind myself that nobody cares. Okay, so this plummy color up here. Okay, that plum needed to be there for me to love this palette. If that one shade was gone, I'd have serious doubts about the entire palette. So we're layering a little bit of that up here. And then I think I'm going to pull out that Eyeshadow C Brush from the e.l.f. kit. And then we'll do a glitter because nothing says 5:30 on a Thursday morning like a glitter lid. We do have some little applicators here. The blunt cut angled side, I gotta say, does not speak to me at all, but these kind of could work. Hard candy has just been kind of hit and miss for me with eyeshadows, you know? Some things have worked well here and there, some things have not been home runs at all, so here's a little Eyeshadow C Brush. Oh yeah, that one can step up. That brush is good, the shadow's good. What else do we have here in terms of our deep mattes? We do have a little bit of a rusty color down here. Literally comparing this to the Huda palette that I mentioned, while it has definitely a similar vibe, a similar color story going on, those shadows are going to be much more a little goes a long way. A little less building is going to have to go on with those. These I feel like, yeah, I got to build up the color a little bit. I still like it. This little brush, by the way, is brilliant. I'm rediscovering that. e.l.f. Travel Brush Kit, I think is a nice little set actually. 4 completely usable brushes. I'm sorry I didn't use the concealer brush in the look today, but that would have been great. It would give you a very similar feel to like when I reach for that Real Techniques highlighter brush or the Sephora number 57 brush and I go in to try to get little areas, a lot like that. It's full enough to do some quick work, but not so full that it's not a concealer brush, you know? Okay, I'm gonna blend a little bit here. Where's everybody going on my street right now? I'm hearing cars. Like, should I prep my lids with a little something before this glitter? I've got a little Too Faced glitter glue. Let's just try and give it its best shot. Okay, I got a little bit. Obviously I don't need to go all over my eye area with this. I'm just gonna hit this remaining zone here. And then we've got these two glitters. I'm gonna go to this a little bit more reddish looking one. I'm picking it up with a flat brush. I can feel that primer grabbing it, but I would feel more comfortable putting it on with a finger, I think. It's really just a pure glitter, guys, with no sort of filler, you know what I mean? We're not talking like a glitter shadow mixed with shimmer. It's just like pure glitter. I'm kind of stopping short of the innermost part of the lid because I think I might put something lighter there. What do we think? My reaction right now is, yep, that's glitter. That's glitter right there. I'm not like immediately in love. It's doing what you would expect glitter to do. And it is sticking, at least because I used that primer. Then I want to go to this shade. I used this the other day and I thought this was quite pretty. This speckled color. Now here's maybe where I can see it all coming together. That can kind of fade into the glitter. The glitter just looked kind of spotty coming out of nowhere, you know, for a second. I needed to see something coming into it. But wow, the level of shimmer on my lids right now. And I know some of you are watching this and you're like, girl, you're gonna go to pre-K drop-off like that? Well, number one, this is what I do, and I'm not the least bit like ashamed about it or thinking I need to be cautious of my makeup because of what people might think at pre-K drop-off. Like, honestly, who cares? But I also think, like, you know how... Here's an example. We're eating dinner and Biddy breaks out into a Grinch voice song, you know, like none of us look at her in shock. We're all just like, oh, yeah, that's Biddy. Like nobody raises an eyebrow. I think that's kind of the way I am at drop off now. Nobody raises an eyebrow. Like, yeah, there's a girl who always shows up with the makeup, whatever. So my lids are super darn glittery. I think it's just kind of hard to make the glitter fade into something else. Maybe if I chose one of these shimmers. Okay, brushes, we're using you. They're saying, put me in, coach. All right, this like ruby shimmer here. By the way, I could have used maybe a light shimmer that wasn't so profound and speckled. Okay, that helps. It's hard to make the glitter look at home when you place it right beside a matte shade. Live and learn. Okay, so I'm just taking this shimmer finish eyeshadow here, and I think that's kind of working with the glitter. It's making friends with the glitter. It's making the glitter feel more comfortable. Okay, then I'm just gonna take my small pointed brush. What do I wanna go to? Maybe this, or with absolutely, you can't force that shade to have any fallout. It will not give you fallout. I'm just trying to do up my outer corner a little bit more now and take that shade beneath. Do I like this palette? Would this be a fun holiday gift for someone? Yeah, like I think especially if you've got a young person in your life who's kind of starting to get into makeup, starting to experiment with different textures and stuff, I think this could be a lot of fun because the overall color scheme is really, like, to me, I love the blushed colors, I love the plums. You know, it feels wearable to me, but it gives you a little something different to play with, and the mattes, I gotta say, are very buildable and user-friendly. It's not gonna be as pigmented as Huda, but it's definitely inspired by Huda, I can tell you that, the whole color scheme. So it's not the kind of thing that's going to strike me as everyday use, but I think it could be giftable to the right person. I want to swatch some of these other like speckled colors for you. There's like a gold, a bronze, and a rusty color. And outside of those, and then the one I used on the inner lid, this is a shimmer, and then everything else is matte. So I do think there's a nice balance. To be honest with you, it's probably one of the better hard candy palettes I've used. Okay, liner and lashes, just did those real quick. I used a black liquid liner. I used my light liner in the lower inner rim, the Essence Lash Princess Curl and Volume. This one's still kicking for me, so I used that on the upper lashes, and then Lash Discovery Waterproof on the lower lashes. Now for lips. I am in love with the Burt's Bees lip shimmers all over again, and I got this warm collection that contains rhubarb, which is kind of a reddish shade, fig, it's my favorite. I love this kind of little more dusty berry type tint, and then they also have peony in here, and this one, I've had some fun with this one lately. What I'll do with this is take this shade, which looks like kind of like sheer pearl. Ooh, should I probably... Yeah, I'll just try them all each on for you, and then I'll go back and do this again. Okay, so this is what Peony looks like all over. This shimmer kind of seeing through to your natural lip color a little bit. Really pretty. And I love the cooling sensation with these. So I talked all about how these are back for me in a video earlier this week. So I just wanted to talk more about them today because I am obsessed. Oh, I just pulled the cap off of Fig. She's stuck in there. So yeah, this is Warm Collection. I checked on Ulta's website. There is also a Cool Collection, or you could just hand pick, you know, the ones that you like and buy them individually. But like the slim design, the cooling, soothing feel, maybe it's just because I got a cold, but these feel fantastic to me right now. A little bit of sheen in them, but not frost. Peony is the closest one to a frost, but I've got a whole thing with that, so I'll show you in a second. That's Fig, okay? And then our brightest one is Rhubarb in this set. This is for the day when you're like, yeah, I kind of want to wear a red lip. I sort of want the look of a red lip, but let's make it way more low maintenance. Grab Rhubarb. So I'm really into the feel of these, right? So I'll take Peony a lot of times. Get that all over. All right. Cooling sensation engaged. We got it. And then just grab for whatever lip liner I want to use to adjust this color. So maybe today I want to use my Revlon Color Stay Lip Liner in Chocolate. All right, this is a major color contrast with what I've put on there. But now your lips have all the smoothness to really accept a lip liner with ease. Check it out. And you got that shimmer. Chocolate is such a 90s thing, you guys. Buy Revlon Color Stay Lip Liner in Chocolate and meet your inner 90s supermodel. But I love that. I really like the way that shimmer lip balm just kind of acts like this neutral base, and then I've paired it with mauve, or raisin is really pretty in with this shade. This is probably the biggest contrast one, but I still love it because I get the feel of the balm that I want, and then I just adjust the color to my liking. Also, it's great paired with different Super Stay Matte Ink crayons. That's another great layering thing. It will affect the wear of your matte ink crayon because obviously you're pairing it with something very emollient, but it's just like for color's sake, you know, that's what we're doing this for. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. We covered the BH Cosmetics Contour Palette, the BH Blush Palette, the little e.l.f. Travel Brush Set, the Hard Candy Eye Palette, and the Burt's Bees Lip Trio. The biggest must-haves for me, the BH Blush Palette is awesome. So that's really up there. Of course, the Burt's Bees Lip Trio. And I would say this little e.l.f. brush set, honestly, everything in it is so usable. It's just a little 4-piece set. Would it do a full face? I mean, that depends on how extensive your full face is, but the brush heads are very generous, even though they're short and squatty. They're really cute. Could be a nice little stocking stuffer. Hard Candy Eye Palette, that kind of depends on what you're into or possibly who you're buying for. Honestly, I thought that dang thing, I mean, for just picking up a palette at Walmart, that was capable of quite a bit. And I do think the shades were pretty user-friendly, pretty beginner-friendly as far as stuff like that goes. You gotta have a little finesse, I think, when working with a glitter to figure out, as you saw the struggle I had, you know, how do I make that merge in and mesh with my look? But I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. So thank you guys for your time. I love you. I will see you again very soon. Bye.